young.
So Matt,
Yeah.
Anything PG rated happen to you this week?
Do we have some R stuff?
I can talk about.
No, like rated R. Why can't we do rated R?
Because Matt is
I'm cleaning up my act.
Matt has anxiety when it comes to confrontational.
Well, you
things.
didn't even tell me what happened to the other one.
Well, there was previously a video of me saying some things that, sometimes I joke. Not everything I say is true. Sometimes I joke. We have fun. We laugh. We make jokes.
You laugh, you cry.
And, something, that I may have said, whether I was joking,
Could have been a deep fake.
Yeah, it could have, maybe I didn't even mean, And, word got around, people were talking, coming up to me in public saying, yo, I can't believe you said that. That was crazy. Like, my siblings saw this and shit.
Oh, God.
And,
is that for real?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no,
someone came up to you and said,
he's not lying about this.
Me.
I was right there.
How old's the sibling? Seriously speaking. See, this is the difference, bro. Oh, my God.
Was it a friend or like someone at the school?
It was a friend. It was multiple friends, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I give an opinion? It has nothing to do with
no,
you.
I don't give a shit. No, they didn't say
maybe
anything.
It does have to do with you. They did say something, though. Because I would say, yeah?
Well, no, they were like, yo, I didn't think you were that guy. And
I would say, I didn't think you didn't understand a sense of humor, you
No,
I'm like, not even like, I don't go around trying to fist fight people, but if you're going to say something that's like you need medication or professional help, like I don't understand a joke on TikTok. Like, you think that's the worst thing on the internet these days? Is that you said in a joking way?
It's all peace and love.
I'm trying to like restrain myself. I'm not trying to like be a because it's nothing toward you, but like seriously, like are you an idiot? Not you, him, whoever.
No, I am an idiot though. I am.
This is why I don't like it. This is what I don't like.
Not only am I stupid, I'm unlucky too. So,
if a student or a faculty member at your school, like I took it down, whatever, right? Like we've gone over this a million times. It's not a big deal. Yeah. It is what it is. I'm not going to censor the fucking podcast though. Because,
no, absolutely, as you should.
Like I'm not doing that.
What if Matt found the one? Right? You've been going for a few months now. You're feeling good, and then she saw that.
I think you want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
I think if she was the one, she would appreciate his sense of humor, and she'd be like, "Well, should I start wearing a wig? You know, to look like." I feel like that's something that's funny.
Yeah,
I'm talking.
Like,
if my significant other was making jokes like that and then coming home to me every night, I'd be like, who are you going to be tonight? Brad Pitt, George Clooney? What do you want?
Yeah, make a joke out of it. We have fun.
Like Ralphie May pre-weight loss? What are we thinking? What should I be? Brendan Fraser. You like Brendan Fraser? Because I could be the whale.
Yeah.
I could be the whale. What do you mean? You're not supposed to say that. I'm the fat one. No. But you get what I'm saying, though?
Sure.
Yeah,
like that. Like if she's the one, then it shouldn't fucking matter. Because anybody who takes a comment like that 100% seriously is a
right. And if the one is Dua Lipa, she would be flattered that you said that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Dua. I mean,
It's her name. Like, would you? Would you do it?
Absolutely.
That would be such a good shirt. You know that Dua Lipa shirt you have?
Yeah.
Imagine if it's still like, would you up top? It's like, would you Dua Lipa?
Would you?
She should make an album. Would you? At the bottom, Dua Lipa.
Welcome to the Movie Mob Podcast, episode 40. You know, we love our sports players here. Episode 40, Sean Kemp.
Oh, the Rain Man.
Number 40, you know. I hope he's doing well.
He just shot some people, actually.
He did.
Yeah.
Yep. So, guys, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the Oscars live stream if you did. And if you didn't, it's up on the channel right now. We had some good laughs there. Gets pretty unhinged there at the end when Nick and I are left to ourselves. But I
am gonna go through it at some point and add some chapter markers in there, so it's easy for people to jump around.
Yeah, so guys, check that out if you want to. We also got a new episode of Sideline 2 this week. Check that one out. But listen, joined as always by Matt here. No guests today. We're keeping it original. We got Sam on the right and Nick behind the camera. Not a ton of topics today, but we got some really strong ones. First off, we're going to start with the biggest of all. We had the season finale of The Last of Us, episode 9. Crazy, because it feels like yesterday that we just started reviewing the show, honestly. This blew by. I think that, you know, we've had Nick more so. I think we've had some up and down, back and forth about this series as a whole. A lot of changing opinions. I will say that I enjoyed this episode. Now, I played the game, as I've said before, so I knew that this was going to happen.
Oh, this happens in the game too?
Yeah. Honestly, out of all the episodes, this was like by the book, the ending of the game. Very controversial stuff happens. I'm sure you guys were surprised. Some decisions made by characters, but it definitely, like you said, Matt, you said it a few episodes ago.
Thank you.
You thought it was going to end on a cliffhanger of
yeah.
sorts, definitely leaving it open. And Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin said after the episode aired that they're going to be splitting up the second game into 2 seasons.
Nice.
So we're getting
it's
at
awesome.
least 3 seasons
That's great
of The Last
news.
of Us. Yeah.
Wow. All right, guys. Mazel tov.
Yeah, Mazel Tov. So, but let's get into it, guys. So obviously this was, I would say it's almost an epilogue episode, if you want to call it that. But
Yeah.
Sam, what'd you think of this? What went down here with Ellie and Joel's journey?
So as we come to find out, they get a little bit closer by telling their backstories to each other. Ellie reveals the story about her best friend and how she ended up taking her life because they both got bitten in the mall. And then Joel reveals to her about how his daughter died and how he regrets not pulling the trigger fast enough to save her life.
Yep.
So I think that was pretty cool that they were starting to, kindle and grow closer as we come to see their relationship progress through each of the episodes. However, at the end, Joel isn't completely honest with her.
No.
Which I think is the big thing here
Fibs.
that we should definitely discuss. It's a very big twist. I kind of saw something like this happening.
Okay.
But I wasn't entirely sure that this was going to be the twist that I had in mind.
Right.
So I'll let you guys talk and then we can
All
discuss
right.
that.
Well, Matt, what'd you think of this? Because we haven't talked about this. So I'm curious what your thoughts on.
See, it's interesting. Because I don't know, there's like a small part of me like expecting like some big epic like fucking zombie fucking raid.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like something happens at the end, and that didn't happen. But I think the more I sit with it, I actually loved what happened. I really like this finale.
Yeah.
Because this whole show, like you root for Joel. Like they portray him as like someone you're supposed to root for. And he's a dark past and like he's done things in the past. But like he's still like he's a good guy. They kind of present him as. And this fucking episode, he's just Joel unhinged. He doesn't give a fuck about anyone. He literally just wants to protect Ellie. Because like it's like a second chance at having a daughter. Like Ellie's like his second daughter. And like even like I think it really shows like Marlene, like he could have let her live. And at the end, you know what I mean? And just like, and he has a former relationship with her. And shot her. He's like, you'll just come for her. Didn't even think about, like, all his kills, he didn't even think about it.
No.
Like, it was literally just get Ellie out of here. I'm fucking killing everyone. Protect her at all costs. He lied to her at the end, which I think is going to come back in the later seasons. I think that'll cause an issue between them. I really liked it. Specifically that scene, dude, when the music plays and he's just fucking mowing through everyone.
Yeah.
Going to save her, man. I thought it was an emotional episode. I thought it was dark, which I think it's been a dark show. I really liked it. I thought it was a good finale, and it ended on a cliffhanger, so I was impressed.
You're in. So before I go to you, Nick, because I know you get a lot of thoughts.
No, I want yours first.
I
have a question for everybody after you go.
Sure. Sam, you had mentioned that one line about her talking about the death of her friend. I forget the name already, but
yeah, because she wasn't.
When she got beat. But perfect example of like
Lauren.
All we needed was that line. Why did we get a whole episode about it? But we could get into a whole conversation about that. But yeah, that's a great point, Matt. I mean, the ending of this, series and game, as we've said, is pretty much the same, and it leaves you wondering, like, was Joel right or wrong in this situation? And I mean, honestly, for me personally, you look at the bigger picture, he made the wrong decision. When the fate of humanity is on the line, but that's part of his character, and that's a weak point.
Well, it's like, I'll ask like any of you guys, like, would you save 100 people, but like your mom or like your girlfriend dies?
Yeah.
Or do you save, the person you're closest with, and then you let 100 strangers die?
Yeah. And I think that's
I mean?
what's great is it makes him human. You can understand his conflict though in that situation, as bad as it is. And I know, Nick, that you kind of wished in that last episode that we saw Joel mowing down more of those people in the town. I feel like they remove that because it makes this moment so much more impactful when you're just watching him, like you said, Matt, with that music, and he's just wiping everybody out.
That was a sick scene.
And you're watching, you love Joel, but you're like, ugh.
And these are like good people,
a little much.
Good people trying to like do the right thing that he's killing.
Yeah,
like the doctors and shit. He just killed that doc.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you can't let bang.
And with Marlene too, who you think he has a strong relationship with.
You're supposed to like root for Marlene. Like, all right, she's trying to get the cure, like help out Ellie.
And you know what I think is funny is the moment when he killed the doctor was my favorite moment in the episode.
He pulled out the little like scaffolding thing. He just didn't even think twice. Bang.
But I will say, and also with talk about Marlene's death for a minute.
I like Marlene.
They added something that was not in the game with Ellie's mom.
Yes,
and explaining how she's immune. Obviously, Ellie's mom was bit while she was about to give birth with Ellie, which we assume kind of caused that immunity. And then you see that Marlene took Ellie under her wing. And it adds so much depth to the Marlene character, too, and makes that ending even more tragic. The decision she has to make, too, with Ellie putting her into the surgery and stuff. But, I mean, that's pretty much really all that happened in this episode, and we left off with that cliffhanger leading us into season 2. So, Nick, have the podium here.
All right. This is twofold. The first fold is it's an uneven fold because
a lot of folds.
On the one hand, the episode as an episode there were cool moments to it. I do have a couple of issues. I know I'm a stickler for this crap, but like when I compare something like this show to House of the Dragon, where every scene actually means something, they don't give me too much. I'm literally House of the Dragon is one of the first shows where I was literally physically on the edge of the couch leaning forward, and then when it would cut to credits, I'd be like, are you serious? Dude, I gotta wait a week?
Yeah.
That's like one of the first times this ever happened in my life. Then you have this, where I've watched this episode twice. I thought they were supposed to be really bonded together at the end of the last episode because of the stuff that Ellie had just gone through, right? And Joel going to save her, and he was still kind of sick and just getting a little bit better. In the beginning of this episode, she's like numb. And I mean, after the mom scene, yes, I like that. I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah. It does give depth to the Marlene character. Great.
And it was the actress who voiced Ellie in the game, too.
That means nothing to me, though.
Oh, it's just a cool moment.
It's a cool moment. It's not a needed moment, though. It could have been anybody. So, like, sure. and I'm talking about when you find these motivations for making a crappy show. In the end, when the producers are talking about it, and they're like, "Oh, we threw in this guy who voices Joel in the game. We threw in this lady who voices Ellie in the game." I don't care about that. That does not excuse crappy storylines and crappy character development to me. So that's all because I didn't play the game. So that shit doesn't matter to me. You're not going to get that as an excuse from me. I liked that scene though, and I thought it was cool that we kind of got that question answered about her immunity and stuff like that. Okay. I didn't understand why Ellie, in the very beginning of the episode, is like completely numb. She's like staring off into space. She
just murdered David.
I think it's because
I don't think she just did. It was snowing and everything out, and now they're walking around. This could have been like a month later.
Yeah, but she probably was like that the entire time.
Well, I think it was because, like you said, she just brutally murdered someone and was like gonna get like eaten.
Okay, all I'm saying is we saw them in like 7 feet of snow in the last episode, and now they're walking around. And there's giraffes. I know, but you don't move. You don't teleport, dude. It's not Harry Potter is my point. So it's been some time is all I'm saying.
Sure. I
feel like
they've gone to a different region.
Nick, if you battered someone
I'm not saying it wouldn't stick with me. Yeah. What I'm saying is the two characters are supposed to be close with each other, and she's completely numb to Joel.
Right.
Which I don't understand. Okay. This is the only other it's not like somebody new comes along and she doesn't trust them and she's being weird. She's being like extra. And then, all right, fine. I'll give you that. That makes sense that she's fucking numb and that she wants to be quiet and everything because she just brutally murdered someone.
Yep.
Riddle me this one, Batman. How come 5 minutes later she's doing pun dad jokes because I don't know why. Because he's being like, go ahead, defend that. Please make that make sense.
Joel asked her.
Yeah, Joel asked.
Asked what?
He said I could really use some pun jokes right
and
now.
Her complete personality didn't change after that?
No, because I don't think she's not holding any grudge toward Joel. It's completely on herself, and I think
that's my point. I didn't understand why he like is trying to be like overly nice, where normally he'd be excited that she's quiet.
Yeah,
I just felt like this episode
she's just distant mentally.
And
I don't think she's doing it on purpose.
And he's being nice because she almost like just died, like he almost just lost her.
Right? Yeah.
I get it. I get it. I'm just saying, I feel like the characters were different characters in this episode than they have been all season. You have this and I feel like it's because we didn't get enough of the character development between the two of them, and we had extra episodes that we didn't need throughout the season where we could have developed them a little bit better, in my opinion. That's all I mean. For her to if it's really you and one other person, and Sam, I want to hear what you have to say. I just want to finish this one sentence. If it's really you and one other person, and you guys are like really that close together, and you're gonna lift it's not like. You can't say that she's so upset because she killed somebody when it's not the first person that she killed. And yes, it was very brutal and crazy and everything else, and I don't disagree with any of that stuff. But then she becomes a fucking 3-year-old where where she knows that he's like trying to like get up there with her, and she like throws the ladder at him and runs away because there's a giraffe. Like, it just, you can't have both. It's so like opposite ends of the spectrum. It makes zero sense to me.
But I think the ridiculousness of like there being a giraffe in Utah and Ellie seeing that, probably never seeing an animal in her life, is the fact that it gave her some glimpse of like there's still light.
Do you like Jurassic Park? I don't think we've ever gone over this.
Park,
okay.
Yeah.
What was the reaction to seeing real life dinosaurs in Jurassic Park?
Amazement.
Did they just run away from the people that were there? No.
I don't see the connection.
Mike, the connection is that when you're standing there and you're in awe or whatever, you're in awe of what you're seeing. It's like, oh, you freeze. You don't run toward a wild animal that you don't know anything about and throw a ladder at the only other human that you trust in the entire world because it's a fucking zombie apocalypse, bro. I just felt like the character itself, like, it's just not something that I think would actually happen. That's all. Okay. And I think that when you use a scenario that's as ridiculous as a zombie apocalypse, having real actual moments, which I'm always a stickler for, having those real moments are what make the show good versus and believable, and like, oh shit, if there was a zombie apocalypse, I'd want that guy on my team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want the guy on my team that if I'm the cure is gonna like kill random people and take me away, and I could have cured the entire world.
Right.
Like,
but she doesn't know that.
Which brings me to my next point. I want to hear what Sam has to say, though, because he's been waiting, and I can see him itching. Go.
What do you got, Sam?
So I was going to say, going back to your point, so how old is she, like 14 or so?
Whatever, 14, 15, around there.
So she's like a teenager, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's going through a lot. She hasn't really been able to express her emotions too much to people. So, like, you know how she just brutally murdered that guy?
Yeah.
Like, over the last couple months.
Yeah.
You know, she's thinking about that. She's thinking about how she almost got eaten by that guy.
By
Joel? At the same time. No.
Oh,
the leader of the cult.
Right, okay.
Then it kind of makes her think about, you know, how she had to take out her best friend because they both got infected.
Okay.
So she hasn't really expressed to anybody, like, her actual feelings, and she doesn't know what to actually do. Mm-hmm. So that's probably why she's numb. She needed to, like, take a moment to, like, reflect on that stuff.
Is it fair of me? I'm not trying to. I just want to know. Is it fair of me to have this issue, or that I have this issue right now? Like right now, she has to have this moment where she's. You know, do you get what I'm saying? On the last episode, just a weird moment.
But I just think it's because that just happened. It's a cause and effect, and I think too to add on to that list, Sam. Imagine the pressure that would be on her. That she is like, you know, lack of a better term, the chosen one. Like this could be the path to the immunity.
There's a lot of pressure.
What if they get there and she's not?
Exactly.
They went through this whole journey and Joel risked his life for nothing.
And I think
that's probably.
I think that's why she understands more when they're going on that hike after they drove the car and then they start climbing the mountain. I think that's when she realizes she's like, hey, like me and him, those are like the only two that are around, like that actually have some sense. So I might as well, you know, open up to him because he's all I got.
And Joel literally asked her in the last episode, like, we can turn around. We don't have to do this. And she said, no, I want to keep going.
That's another thing I didn't like.
What?
Was that Mr. like, we got to keep pushing forward and everything, now is giving up on the entire mission
because I think this whole series has shown that he's a ruthless killer with no like
emotion,
want to live in this world anymore, except for a daughter. And that Ellie is now that
I disagree
daughter.
with.
Ellie gave him his will to live back.
He killed an entire hospital of people just to save her.
Okay, that didn't happen midway through the season. It was a complete character flip from what he normally his morality and what he believes in and everything else.
He was pushing her away for as long as he could. Remember, he literally sent her off to go to Tommy, and then he was like...
You said that I had no reason to live. I was going to kill myself, and then I found you. You gave me my reason to live back.
He said, yeah. he finally accepted that.
And that's
this
why
is
murdered
kind of his
everyone
new
at the end.
daughter.
Because if that's Joel from episode 1, he gives it to Marlene, see you later.
Yeah,
thing.
right.
Plus,
Yeah.
that's why he calls her baby girl from time
Yeah,
to time,
exactly.
too.
That was the shift for me when he said that line, because he hasn't said that line, baby girl, since he was holding his daughter in the first episode.
Sarah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then
Yeah.
he mentions how much she would have liked Sarah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I understand,
Maybe the issue
your
for
thoughts,
me,
but
I guess
yeah.
it's not developed enough.
That's
That's
fair.
I think
Yeah.
it's from the perspective of that I haven't played the video game. Like, if we had 3 or 4 episodes with Sarah and then something happened, like we're doing,
yeah.
just because the video game only shows a little bit
It was
of Sarah,
quick.
or like just because, you know what I mean, the video game only has like one level with whatever character.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Doesn't mean that you don't develop the character in the show. Like you know what I mean? I'm not looking at this from the video game perspective.
Yeah.
If we had 3, I wasn't close enough with Sarah as a viewer to remember that he calls her baby girl this one time when
yeah.
she's dead, and like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So all I have is 9 episodes, 9 hours of footage where I can go from this guy has this strong moral compass. He only believes in his family, and he's lived like this his entire life, and everything he's ever had has been ripped out from underneath him, and he has nothing left, and he trusts no one. 9 hours later, he has completely replaced his daughter with this new girl who is the reason that he doesn't want to kill himself anymore. So much so, he will sacrifice all of humanity to save her life.
Yeah.
You know what? For me, it's not enough. That's all it is.
I mean, that's fair. And I do agree with your thoughts about, like, the development could have been extended longer. And I think if you had removed an episode like the flashback episode with her and her friend and made that, like you said, a episode of them in the car or something, talking to stuff, I totally agree with you there. I just, in terms of, like, Joel's switch, I think I saw it. But again, but I don't know.
That's fair. What's up, Sam?
I was going to say, well, in general, the show is pretty solid, although it does have its flaws. I think you're just putting it way too high up there in terms of expectations.
I don't think it's perfect.
I think
by
as
any
someone who
means.
doesn't know the video game and someone who's just watching the show to watch the show, it just didn't hit with me. That's all.
No, and that's fair too. And I think, you know, even with House of the Dragon too, we had some minor.
And by the way,
gripes
I'm
with
not
it
saying
too.
that it's a bad show. I'll tell you, Rings of Power, that's a bad show.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Like, that show
Yeah,
sucked.
They messed that
We
show
all
up so
agreed,
bad.
and I really tried. And I couldn't sit through that
Like
show.
It was
Zach
awful.
Wilson.
I don't blame you.
That's a bad show.
I was like Zach
This
Wilson.
is a good show, and it comes from a production team or distributor or whatever you want to call HBO that is known for putting together pretty decent content. It's not a basic cable show. Like, it's a good show.
Yeah.
So, like, I do hold it to a higher standard, and I do have these little questions, and my biggest complaint about the show in general is that it felt rushed. That's all. I wish there was just more development on some of those characters. And, like, you said, I think it was you, or maybe it was Sam, the Rose character, Rose from 2.5 Men, she's not in the game.
No.
So
right.
why,
They're just an obstacle.
Why
no,
was she there?
I totally
right?
agree with you. Yeah.
That's all. Because I don't get to interact, right? I don't get to make any choices, so...
There was some mismanagement of time
Okay.
at points of the show.
Now
Episodes could have been longer too.
Yeah.
Now I
Yeah,
have a question. I have a question. I want everybody's answer, and it doesn't matter what your answer
Yeah,
is,
hit
but
me.
be prepared to defend it if you disagree with me. Did Joel? I know we know RJ's answer. Did Joel do the right thing for his character? Did he do the right thing?
Are you saying was it like aligning with his character as we know him, or are you saying, like, from a moral standpoint, do you think he did the right thing?
I view him as the moral leader, figurehead of their team. Like, he's the adult.
Right. Well, I would say that.
And I'll add on to that. Is this not Anakin into Darth Vader moment for Ellie? Or when she finds out that he lied.
Right. Which is
That's
a
what-
later.
She's gonna be.
but that's
She's gonna
what I
be
mean.
pissed when she finds
Yeah.
out.
Well,
Pissed.
to answer the
Yeah,
first
she's gonna be
question,
mad.
I think I completely bought him doing this. Like, I think he would have done it if I was looking at him as a real person.
No. Okay. I don't mean killing everybody. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah.
Lying to her. That's what I
Yeah,
mean.
because I think he knows that she'd be pissed, and that, like,
Then
did
did
you
he do
watch?
the right
did you
thing?
watch the post episode with
If
Neil
you have
Druckmann?
to lie about, I watched every episode.
Right.
If you have to lie about a decision you make, did you do the right thing? That's my question.
No, I don't think he did the right thing.
Do you think he thinks he did the right thing?
No. I really don't.
Interesting. So, real quick, just to go off what Matt said about, and when I said it was my favorite part, really quick, I want to get back to this really quick, though, really, really quick. In movies like Bond movies and everything else, right, the bad guy always gets caught because he gives the big speech about how he's going to kill the hero while he has the hero right there, and you're like, dude, if you had just killed him, the movie would be over. Like, kill the guy, right? Him killing the doctor thing was the coolest moment. It was the most, that's the most accurate thing that I had seen throughout the entire show. I was like, that's fucking cool. Yeah. He was like, I'm not going to let you take it. Joel's like, fuck off. Boom, done. Move,
they didn't even think twice.
It was so good. That was just a really great moment. I really want to focus on this lie, though, because it's a big deal to me.
Well, yeah, because I want to. So this is pretty relevant because in the game, and I'm surprised they left this out, when he's in the hospital, he discovers audio tapes and pictures of previous surgeries that they've done already that were failed.
Honestly, that probably would have changed me a little bit.
Right. Okay. So that's a weird thing that I felt they left out there.
See why I'm not judging your and Sam's opinion on the episode of the show as a whole.
Yeah.
This is why I hold it to a higher standard. If he had been horrified by the mangled bodies of other deceased children that have had their brains ripped out looking for a cure, I could understand how someone would be like, that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
And fly off the handle. The guy, she said she's being prepped for surgery. She didn't even really have a moment to confirm it was brain surgery. He said that it grows in the brain or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, it does or whatever. And he's like, take me out, and just kills everyone. I
think her response was pretty much confirmation. You can read.
By the way, this doesn't take place in 1805. They did brain surgeries in 2000. Well, now technically it's in the future.
They had to extract
2025.
Was the whole thing.
I get it, dude. I'm not, but like, it's not complete. He didn't ask any questions. Like there was no probing questions. Do you have to remove her arm that has the scar? Is it a brain thing? Like what are they doing? Like what is there?
But I think it goes back to something you said though, is he doesn't trust anyone. You know?
Then why did he continue to take her there? This is my point, bro. Look, I'm not trying to be a prick. I'm saying these are questions. Like the fact that you have to like explain this stuff out to me is because it didn't get translated in the show for me.
But it started as a job, right? So if we look at the beginning, he didn't care about her at all.
Okay.
Then last episode, he was ready to not bring her.
Right. But when he was down,
but she said, I want to go. Right. You know what I'm saying? And once he started to care about her, he no longer cared about that.
So then my issue is with the last episode, because the Joel that I know, right, and have at least in 7 or 8 episodes grown to understand as a character, would not have said, hey, if you, girl who's my job, if you don't want to, do this, we can. If you want to, we can always turn around. He would have said, listen, at every corner, there's always been bullshit. We don't know what's going to happen when we get there. And what are they supposed to do to you if you are the cure? Here's what's going to happen. We're going to go back to Tommy land, and we're going to, you know what I mean? And we're going to hang out with them.
Yeah.
That's the Joel. That would be in line with me. And
he said that to her.
He didn't. He did. Bro, he did. He said to her, if you don't want to go, we won't go. But if you know what I mean? And she just says like 2 lines and they continue going. There's no fight between the two of them.
He gave her a choice.
That's not with his character is what I'm trying to fucking explain. Joel makes all the decisions up until that point.
Yeah. And I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to say. He makes all the decisions for both of them.
He realized that he cared about her and he wanted to give her this decision.
But then he takes the decision away when they get there.
But she didn't even know she was going in for surgery. So, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
Yeah.
It's like too much back and forth for me.
Right.
I don't know. I think my biggest issue is with the lie at the end. I think it's bullshit. I think if you're going to make a choice like that, then you have to be able to come clean about it. Lying, you'll always get caught. And listen, it's just never a good thing. Yeah. You don't fucking lie. You don't lie. Even if she wanted to run away or whatever it is, then she's making her own decision. You don't own her. She's not your person, whatever it is. And yes, you guys have gotten really close. But when she finds out, it's going to be so much worse for Joel. And the fact that he's not realizing that after everything else that he's gone through is utterly shocking to me. That's all I'm saying. No, that's all I mean. Because the worst case, what's she going to do? Go hide in a fucking tree because she doesn't like it? She's going to pout for a few hours?
You'll see.
But I'm saying if he had told her the truth, RJ.
Right.
What's going to happen? She has no clothing. She has nothing without him. She wouldn't last more than a day.
Yeah.
He still has all the power over
Right.
her.
It was a morally wrong decision, but I don't think Joel is a morally right character.
I know. I guess that's more why I'm upset, because I thought that he was.
Disagree with him. Yeah.
No, I thought that he was going into it, and I think it's
you'll
see
as the story moves forward that these things get a little muddy.
I just don't like fake people. That's a lot. If you're someone who's willing to lie to cover up your own flaws, and I don't mean like, is Santa Claus real, and you tell your 4-year-old Santa Claus is real, now you're a lying fake person. I don't hate that person. I'm talking about, you could have potentially saved humanity, and you completely and utterly destroyed that opportunity and lied to the person that means apparently the most to you in the whole world.
Yeah.
That character doesn't sit well with me.
No,
I think you're a piece of shit if you're a lying piece of shit.
I mean, I don't think you're coming from nowhere on this, but I definitely think you're in the minority, but we'll see.
You think he's a good guy because he lied?
No.
Then what are you talking about?
But you being angry about it, in terms of it like being a negative episode.
So you're happy that he lied?
Well, I definitely think it adds conflict to the story.
Oh, conflict. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That doesn't make him a good
it's
person.
always good.
I just, for me, this is like a touchy subject. Like I really don't. I think don't like people that lie.
If you thought Joel was a good person, I think
that's the worst part, is because I feel lied to.
Yeah,
I feel duped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's the whole point. Like in the after episode, Neil Druckmann said like the whole point was you're playing as Joel in this whole game, and when you're playing that mission, you want to feel like you shouldn't be doing this because you've been lied to. You've been playing as him the entire game, and you think he's the main character, and he's making these decisions.
Yeah.
That was their intention. So whether or not it worked, I guess, is up to the person. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's true. But that's true. Cool moments though in this in the last episode.
Yeah. I think overall though, we had a fun dialogue about this show.
I liked it, man.
Oh, it definitely gave us
and we'll
stuff
be
to
watching
talk about.
season 2.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think, so any final thoughts from anyone?
I thought it was a solid season of television. Like I enjoyed it, and I was looking forward to it like every week Last of Us. So I'll be back season 2. I liked it.
Matt's in. Then that's saying a lot.
No, it is. Matt. I am. Yeah. So, no, I like
what about Rings of Power, Matt? You
that show blew.
Sam, you feeling the same way?
Yeah, I mean, I like the discussion back and forth about, whether it was morally right.
Yeah.
I'd say, it wasn't. And it was definitely not the right way to go about that, because she's going to find out, obviously, one way or another.
Karma.
So might as well just come up front, especially with how much they've been through together.
Yeah.
Because they've literally faced adversity literally every step of the way to get to that point, and then just to not be upfront about this thing.
Yeah.
It's going to come back to haunt them.
Yeah. Well, if you thought that was divisive, wait till season 2. But guys, thank you for joining us for the Last of Us reviews this whole period of 9 weeks. Crazy stuff. But let's get into some movie news. A few topics here. I think these will get very heated stuff here. The two are kind of connected, but Warner Brothers, David Zaslav is coming in. He's made a lot of changes. He's hired James Gunn, rebuilding the DC universe, and canceled the Fantastic Beasts series at Harry Potter. But now we're getting more Harry Potter movies, possibly series, maybe 2. But he even opened the possibility of them having their own dedicated studio like DC does. So kind of a Harry Potter Wizarding World studio where all that stuff is produced. I mean, we all love Harry Potter. We grew up on it. Mm-hmm. Very close to the heart. Obviously, we know that J.K. Rowling did make a sequel play script called The Cursed Child, which I have not read, but
it did well.
It did. I mean, it's huge. It's arguably a bigger IP than Star Wars right now, given the fandom. And I think that it's probably likely that we're going to get that adapted into a movie. But what do you guys think about this announcement? I'll start with you, Matt.
Now, has there been any information about, like, is Harry, Hermione, Ron is just Wizarding World? Like, what is any...
There's controversy there because they've said they've led people to believe they wouldn't come back. Okay. But then a rumor came out that they were making a Cursed Child movie and that they're in it. And that there also might do a Hogwarts Legacy series, which is the video game type series. Yeah.
Adapted
all right.
Games.
Here's what I'll say. I don't like it.
Okay.
But that's obvious. There's no way I was gonna like it.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say, because it's happening.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So so Star Wars, right? They came back. They did it again. The sequel trilogy. Mm-hmm. They included Luke, Leia, Han, all those guys. Their story's over.
Yeah.
Okay. Their story ended in Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Ron, Hermione, their story ended. Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yeah.
You know, I did 7-8 movies with these guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
You say Luke, Ron, Hermione?
Yes.
Whatever.
Harry,
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Harry.
You know what I
Okay,
mean.
no, I didn't. Okay.
Harry.
Yeah.
Harry.
Swiss Army Man.
Hermione.
Yeah.
You know,
The spoon.
Snipe. Sever.
Yeah.
Their stories ended.
Yep.
So when they bring this, the bullshit Wizarding World back. No, I like Harry Potter, but when they bring it back, don't give me new characters.
Well, it's about their kids. That's
No.
story is
Get
about-
away from it.
Matt, I'm not trying to take over. I'm just asking. Have you seen and watched all of the Harry Potter films?
Oh yeah.
Every single one?
Oh yeah. Multiple times.
Okay. No, just
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
ask.
No,
Go ahead.
holidays, nice,
Yeah.
have nice pie, watch Goblet of Fire. No,
great.
but no, it's a holiday. It's a holiday series.
It is. I agree.
Just give me new stories. Give me Don't do these retreads like Star Wars, the Skywalker thing. And then they piss everyone off. They ruin the stories. If you're going to do the Wizarding World, Hogwarts, fine, but give me new characters, new storylines.
You want more Newt Scamander.
He fucking sucks.
Yeah.
No, what they did was fine.
Yeah.
They just picked the fucking
Yeah,
worst
yeah,
character.
yeah.
I mean, he stinks.
Well, that was the
Newt's commander. He sucks.
Yeah.
There is nothing interesting about
Well,
him.
they canceled the series.
Good.
I mean, the first issue they made
Fuck.
with those movies was letting J.K. Rowling write the screenplays versus, with the first 8 Harry Potter movies, someone adapted her books.
Second issue was firing Johnny Depp. But
Yeah,
that's
right,
another subject.
right. As Grindelwald, great character. But
He
I
was a
mean,
good
Sam, what do you
character.
think about this?
Kind of what Matt said.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to this if they try to, readapt this
Mhm.
with the same characters and
Yeah.
that kind of concept, because it's kind of like beating a dead horse to death. It's
Yeah.
already dead.
It's over.
Like, what are we doing?
It's
Yeah.
over.
You see it, it's lying there, it's fucking not moving, not breathing.
'Cause
Like,
that-
and you
would-
just fucking going.
It's like Dwight Howard,
I'd
man.
fight
He's
back
done.
on that though because I do think Harry Potter still is as big as ever in terms of the pop culture. Because this is a money move. You know what I'm saying? Like David Zaslav, they want to make money. It's the
So
same thing with Lord of the
basically,
Rings.
their product's going to be shit. That's
yeah,
what they're
maybe
going to
after
do.
the fact, but right now, it's going to hit a few billion. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
yeah,
That's
people
all
are going
they
to
care
see it
about.
just because of the name. But
Right.
I'm saying in terms of quality,
Yeah,
it's like the dead horse analogy.
Right.
Like, it's going to be fucking shit.
yeah. It's a fair
And then
point.
people are going to get outraged, and then,
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know. I haven't read the Cursed Child thing again, but like you said, Nick, it was successful in the theater run.
yeah.
What do you think about
I mean,
this?
that's not saying much though, because you can only have so many people in a theater and everything else. Like,
Right,
it was successful for theater productions.
And
you know what I mean?
got those crazy Harry Potter fans that are going to go after anything.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and those
right.
same people went after Fantastic Beasts as well. I've seen. I
Right.
think I saw the first one. I don't know if I watched the second one. I might have.
Weasley.
Stop
I
there.
like the concept of the Fantastic Beasts series.
I do too.
I think it could be like really interesting. I think maybe it's the way it's written,
Mhm.
but it's a little too Disney for
Yeah.
me. Like, it got a little too childish for me. The thing that was cool to me about Harry Potter is like, and honestly, I was gonna say like spoilers, but if you haven't seen Harry Potter at this point, where the fuck you
Yeah.
at? You know what I mean? So when like people die in Harry Potter,
Yeah,
Cedric
yeah.
Diggory.
it starts off with a kid who gets orphaned because his parents get blown up.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's abused and lives under a staircase. It's a horrific story
It's not
for a
great.
child.
Yeah.
The cool thing is, and this is why I like stories like Harry Potter and not he has a moral compass. He never wavers from his moral compass. He's not a lying sack of shit,
Mhm.
okay? Like some people out there.
Yeah.
And he is true to his word. The reason I think this might work, if it's done by Warner Bros., doesn't go total Disney, whatever, you know what I mean? Is because we did see Harry, Ron, and Hermione as adults at the end of Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Sending their kids off.
Sending the
Yeah.
kids off to be, whatever it is. I've always kind of wondered, and maybe this is a good, I mean, I say this, but like I'm only wondering it now. I don't like lay up at night wondering what's going on between Harry and
Yeah.
Ginny Weasley. But like, it is kind of interesting. Like maybe it'd be cool to see them. New characters would be cool. I think that the problem with these overworked, overdone franchise things is when they have nothing. There's no real story there,
Yeah.
right? So they just overload you with these characters that, if this was real life, would need mental institutions because
Yeah.
they are so low IQ with the humor and the things that they do. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The fat guy in Fantastic Beasts, the first one that ends up
Yeah,
falling
I
in love with
forget
the
his name. Yeah.
You know
the
what I'm talking
baker.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
baker. How would that guy ever own a business ever in real life?
Yeah.
He would need a handler.
He
would
was
need
a
a
Disney
vest.
character.
He would need a vest with a leash and someone to
Right.
walk him around.
He's
Like,
great,
you know,
though. I love him.
He is great, but like, how far can you go with that? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How many movies before it's like, oh,
Well,
we've seen
apparently
this guy?
3.
This is my point exactly.
Yeah.
So I just hope that it's not like it's not just a money grab. Like I'd love to know.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the J.K. Rowling aspect of it? Is she involved? Is she writing stuff?
I mean, listen, I think she's tied to the franchise, so she's going to get money regardless. But I doubt that they.
I'm
allow
not worried
her
about
to
her
write
paycheck.
the-
She's worth billions. But
yeah, I doubt they allow her to write the script.
interesting.
You know, because
Interesting.
she wrote all 3 of those movies, and I don't think they worked.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
my only thing with Fantastic Beasts is that it's not dark enough.
It should have been.
It should have been scarier.
It should have been focusing on Dumbledore and Grindelwald. They should have been the 2 characters.
I think
instead
that would
of
have been
Newt
so
Yeah,
cool.
I
And
think
if they
it
did
would've been.
that, it's a tragic story.
Yeah, that right. And we never
Oh.
even got to see the end of it.
I know.
You know, because we followed Newt Scamander. What are you gonna do?
He
But I
sucks.
mean, listen. Speaking of franchises that they don't seem to let die, Star Wars movies. It's becoming a running joke now at Lucasfilm that they keep announcing movies that get canceled. And guess what? Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie canceled. Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie not happening. This Hollywood Reporter thing came out. We got Star Wars Celebration coming out soon, so I'm sure we're gonna get more announcements. But basically, I'm not even surprised here. It's kind of just a joke. Whenever they announce it, I really don't think it's even gonna happen. What they're claiming now is that the 2 movies that are happening still are Taika Waititi's movie and Damon Lindelof, who wrote Watchmen, the series, his movie.
That could be good.
Now, here's where they lose me. Both of those movies are set after The Rise of Skywalker, Episode 9. Obviously, I'm someone who was not happy. I think we all weren't happy with those movies. I'm tapped out mentally of anything post that. You know what I'm saying? So, what do you think about this? I don't know.
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
Shut it all down. Too much.
Yeah.
There's too much.
And it's interesting you're saying that because we haven't had a movie in a while.
No.
Yeah.
Shut it down. Enough's enough.
Mhm.
Give me 20 years, 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
when-
never again.
Because when fucking Force Awakens came out, it had been long enough. It was like, oh shit,
Right.
people were excited. What was that? 10 years between Revenge of the Sith and Force Awakens, something like that.
Yeah.
Shut it down for a little bit, right? Let it simmer. You know, put it in a crock pot. Give it a couple years, maybe 4 or 5 years. No Star Wars. Then
Yeah.
people, Star Wars. You know what I mean? Get the buzz back up.
And
you
then
know?
make a good decision too.
Oh yeah.
You know, don't fumble the bag.
I will say I do like
Ooh,
they
I'm
do
sorry.
get like good filmmakers to like
But-
involve, but they never end up happening. And they don't use it right.
Would a Taika Waititi Star Wars movie excite you? To me, he's the wrong guy.
I mean, it wouldn't excite me.
Yeah,
I'm dead inside.
sure.
So you know what I mean? Would it excite the average viewer? I can't speak on that.
Yeah, but if I said Christopher Nolan's making a Star Wars movie, I feel like you'd be
Oh, well,
more
that'd
excited.
be. I mean,
You know
come
what-
on,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
Nolan.
yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
Nolan.
to me, Taika Waititi, especially after Thor: Love and Thunder, I don't think his comedy and stuff works well with Star Wars. But Sam, what do you think?
I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, what are we doing here? If they
I don't
wanted
know.
to actually like make quality stuff, they'd look into the lore more, like the old
I
Republic and
totally
stuff like
agree,
that.
Sam.
Because why would you?
Veronica would like.
Why
that.
would
Ron
you
would-
go
yeah.
off
Loves
of
the Old
something
Republic.
that
Mm.
literally got so bad, like recognition from all the fans and
Yeah.
whatnot? Like those 3 movies are disgraced, in my opinion. They really fucking
I agree.
they did it in for me. Like I am sitting 6 feet under the ground right now
Oh.
in a fucking casket
Yeah.
because of those movies.
Well, the
And
third one was
Yeah, that was
embarrassing.
atrocious. But you're right. Meanwhile, there's years, decades of books, video games, everything of just legend stuff that they've shoved to the side that they refuse to adapt.
It's
That
unbelievable.
That is pop culturally agreed upon to be canon. Like,
And
that is
better
like-
than what they did.
Sure, but it's
Right,
like if
yeah.
you're if everybody agrees, the fans, the authors, George Lucas,
Right.
everybody agrees that this is what happened.
Yeah.
You can't throw it away.
No. Yeah,
That's-
yeah, yeah.
that's all I was
'Cause
gonna
it's-
They're
say.
just like, we're just gonna put it behind the curtain.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah,
But
it's literally whenever the book comes out, you're literally giving someone a script. Basically, you
Yeah,
could
yeah,
make
yeah.
a book as a movie. They don't
There's
do it.
the
though.
outline. And you're right. The Knights of the Old Republic, it's beyond me how they haven't made that a movie yet. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
You got a billion Sith, you got a billion Jedi fighting each other. It just, I don't know.
Or even like a Force Unleashed kind
Yeah,
of
dude,
deal.
something
Darth
like
Bane,
that. Right.
you know?
I mean,
Yeah.
think about it, dude. They got all the material in the world, and then they decided just,
Right.
we're not going to use it. We're going to make something up.
And listen, Kathleen Kennedy, there's no denying her, again, from the business side of things. She's one of the best producers ever, but she should have never have been the creative head of Lucasfilm. There's a reason George Lucas left when he sold it. And I don't know. I'm just not excited.
From a filmmaking standpoint, sorry I had to get so technical with all this stuff. What is A New Hope about? Give me a tagline.
The hero's journey.
Yeah.
Right, but what is the tagline for the film?
A young boy growing.
Right? Go ahead.
Longs for
not the actual one. Give me a tagline for A New Hope.
I'm thinking, a young boy born on a farm longs for a life bigger than what he's got on Tatooine.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Yeah. Very simple.
But there's an overarching canon that carries throughout these films. The reason we got the prequels is because people wanted to know what happens, and George Lucas wanted to tell us what happens. But people want to know, how did Darth Vader come about? The prequels are about the rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker.
I know where you're going with this. Yep.
Nowadays, I feel, and I could be wrong, but I've seen now. Rise of Skywalker is the one where Mark Hamill disappears into a blanket, right?
No, that's The Last Jedi. That's the one.
Oh, I don't know. Have I seen?
I don't think you've
seen
Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, well, after that one that I just mentioned, I'm really not a fan of them anyway. Rise of Skywalker is where Luke is the deep fake that comes in at the end, right?
That's Mando season 2.
That's Mando.
I'm way off, dude. Fuck it.
No, Palpatine returns in episode 9.
Okay.
Ray Palpatine.
Yeah.
My issue with these newer Star Wars things is that they only focus on this. I agree that the lore and the stuff is important, right? And Matt and I are joined at the hip when it comes to everybody feeling Force sensitive.
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah.
But I just feel like they focus too much on things like the Force, as opposed to give me a character with a purpose and then push them in a little bit. Not everybody has to be a Skywalker descendant, by the way.
I agree.
Yeah.
But push them in a little bit into this thing. The cool thing about Luke is when you first start to watch A New Hope, you don't think about everything else that's going on, everything that's going to come out of it. You don't
know he's related till the second movie.
You don't even realize that it's so in depth. You don't have. That's the cool thing about movies like A New Hope, or just the original trilogy in general, is that you don't have to know all of the books and Clone Wars animated series and everything else in order to even blatantly understand what's going on.
Yeah.
You cannot start this series watching Force Awakens, in my opinion.
Yeah,
no.
That's a huge problem for me. That makes zero sense.
Yeah.
You can either start with the prequels, you can start with the original trilogy. There are people, and there were people before any of these other movies came out, that watched Star Wars not when it was called A New Hope, not when it was called Episode 4, but there were people that went to the theater for the first time and watched Star Wars and said, that's a great movie, I understand all of it, I'm in love with all these characters, and I can't wait to see if possibly they make another one of these things, because this movie changed my life. That is the 4th episode.
Right.
And how much do we bitch about sequels? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's technically Episode 4, and it changed the lives of millions of moviegoers and nerds everywhere.
Yeah, but it was the first one to come out.
I don't disagree with you. But you can start with Episode 1 or Episode 4, and you still get the same vibe.
Yeah, there was...
Because the movie in and of itself has its own story.
Yes.
And nowadays, they don't do that.
No, and then this new trilogy, they never had a plan, and it was evident there was no compass guiding them to something.
I know.
And it's true, and that's a great point. The prequel trilogy is about the rise and fall of Anakin. The sequel trilogy about his redemption, really, and his son. What's the third? What do you say that is? You know what I'm saying?
That's a finished
story. They could have
story.
made it about the legacy of Vader, but they didn't go into that at all about his kids and
It's really annoying, dude.
It is. It seemed like a no-brainer, but I don't know. I mean, listen, we're not happy about that stuff.
Just final thing, the fact that you just said it seems like a no-brainer, and they have the highest paid top movie executives and everything around the world that working on this, and all of those brains combined, all those billions of dollars going into stuff like this, and the best they can come up with is that everybody feels a little bit Force sensitive.
Right.
Give me a fucking break. Give me a break.
I'm with you.
I've had it with this shit, man.
So have I.
This gets me really.
We're all on the same page on this one.
Why it's so bitchy about this?
Because it's so close to our hearts.
Yeah, we all grew up with it.
Yeah,
they're just giving us double middle fingers.
Listen, you know who would make a fun Star Wars movie though?
Who?
If given the opportunity?
Seriously, who?
Quentin Tarantino.
You are a sexy bastard.
Yeah, how
with
you
these
doing? Yeah,
transitions.
well, listen, we've been talking a while about Quentin Tarantino. Rumors about a series that he was possibly doing. No word on that, but he's been saying for a while he's doing 10 movies and he's out.
Yeah. Ever since the beginning, pretty
We'll
sure.
see about that.
Yeah.
But apparently his 10th and final movie is titled The Movie Critic. It's going to start filming this fall, so we're probably going to see it sometime late next year, early year after that. All I know about it is it's set in 1970s LA, and it follows a female movie critic who I believe is based on a real person. But that's really all that I know. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, let's assume for a minute he's serious, and this is his 10th film. This plotline story doesn't excite me very much for a final Quentin Tarantino movie. But Matt, what do you think about this?
Well, here's the thing. I think out of every filmmaker there is, I think the plot matters the least with Quentin Tarantino. I mean, you look at Pulp Fiction, you know, I mean, what is that really about? You know what I mean?
That's fair.
At the end of the day, and like, so, I don't know, Reservoir Dogs, you know what I mean? Like some of them, like if you would just like tell me the plot,
yeah,
you know, like, hey, what's this movie about? And I told you, you would go, oh, it kind of sounds boring.
Yeah, sometimes they don't even really have
But Tarantino is such a great writer.
Yeah.
And like those dialogue, that's why you watch Tarantino do those dialogue scenes. He gets the best out of the actors he puts in his movies.
Mm-hmm.
He creates, and what I like too, so you said 70s, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he created like old Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like it was such a cool aesthetic, and that was like part of the movie. So if he's doing the 70s, I feel like that would be dope. And I feel like he's like one of the few guys left. Like you're seeing it no matter what. It doesn't matter what it's about. Yep. Especially if it's his last film.
Mm-hmm. So
I agree. Like when you say like off the bat, it doesn't sound interesting, maybe compared to like a Django or Inglourious Bastards. But I mean, I'll be there. I'm excited. I think it's, you know, it's dope he's doing it.
Good point. Sam, what do you think of this?
Yeah, I agree with Matt's points. You know, he's one of those guys where you don't really care about the plot. It's just more about, you know, the dialogue between the characters that are involved in his films. But I do need a little bit more information, like probably like a trailer first to actually like formulate an actual opinion.
And get excited, yeah.
But as far as I know right now, you know, I'm kind of just level-headed with the information given to us already. I just hope it's not black and white.
Yeah. Amen. That picture is, though.
I know.
Don't
so it's giving me false hope, hopefully.
Nick, you love Tarantino.
Yep.
You excited about this? I know you're a little bummed we didn't hear anything about the series, but
yeah, I am. So I think I would hold off on the series thing. I think that's going to be. I think that if the series thing does happen, that it's going to be something that shows up when he gets tired of pacing his bedroom every morning doing nothing 10 years from now.
And he writes it and he doesn't direct it, so he's technically not a, you know, like,
Yeah. I think that this could be interesting. I'm very interested to see where the blood will come in, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
good point.
you have Jackie Brown, like you were saying, but there's drugs and blood and tons of and random sex in kitchens.
Good.
And I mean, it's such a good
great
movie,
movie.
man.
Yeah.
It's such
Great
a
movie.
good movie, man.
Great movie.
There is probably drug, sex, violence is Tarantino's method when it comes to doing stuff like that.
3.
And so I want to reserve judgment on the title of the film. Do I think that this is his actual last film? How old is Tarantino? He's not
early
that
60s.
old.
It's gonna be 60s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely 60s.
Look it up.
But he's a stubborn fuck.
He is.
Oh yeah.
Look at him.
He's a weirdo, RJ.
And he
Likes
would
feet.
do this.
And I listen, the stuff that
59.
he preaches, right? The stuff that like he preaches about making movies and stuff is why I decided that this is something that I wanted to do, because he is the epitome of like, if you want to make movies, like where's your go fucking point the camera at something and press record.
Yeah, he's got a great mindset.
Like just like nobody can tell you no kind of mindset, right? So I love that aspect of him. But he has always been that. He's never changed. He doesn't capitulate to these big studios. He's he will tell you that movie's like dog shit or whatever it is.
Yeah.
He has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to cinema in general. I think this is. I don't know. And then when you said it's a female lead, but then again, Kill
it was
Bill,
a real female movie critic in the 70s is who it's based
yeah,
off
that doesn't
of.
mean shit though,
Yeah.
because what's it called in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, half those characters were based on real
Yeah,
people
yeah,
too.
yeah.
They did nothing that happened in Once Upon a
Sure,
Time in
yeah,
Hollywood.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, I don't know.
True.
I think that's my biggest question right now is where is it sex, is it drugs, or is it violence, or all three, and where do they come in? And I
And feet.
hope,
I'm sure they'll be there at some
Yeah.
point.
All three.
I hope that they don't come into the movies that the girl is critiquing, because that would be a cop-out, in my opinion.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's a long ways out. They haven't started shooting it, and
I'm
I'm
just
sure
saying.
once we see a trailer, we'll get a better idea about that. But I think we'll all be there.
No, definitely.
You know, regardless.
It's
And like you said,
Tarantino.
though, Nick, even if this is his last directed film, he's definitely going to continue writing and producing stuff. So we're never going to stop getting Tarantino content in the near future. So, yeah. But that'll do it, guys. No question of the day. I don't have anything. But we got plenty of questions on the
How do you feel about liars?
yeah. We got plenty of questions on that Oscar live stream, guys. So thank you for that. But always, guys, leave a question down below. We'll answer it next week. Like, subscribe. As always, we're bumping up those subscribers slowly, guys. We appreciate all the watches. And, you know, we got a nice week, filled week now. We got Mondays, guys. District 9 review will be dropping. Wednesdays, we got Sidelined. And Fridays, the Movie Mob podcast at 6 p.m. So, guys, tune in to all those. As always, it's a pleasure. We'll see you next week. How you doing?